Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, welcome to today's presentation. Before we begin, I would like to introduce me and my partner. Started with me, Fitri Sari, and my partner, Naura Fardah Agnasira Darintan. Today, they are present about the differences within culture in American, British, and Indonesian. Let's starting from the first slide by Naura Fardah Agnasira Darintan. Time is yours.
Okay, American wedding tradition. Alternative to marriage. There are numerous alternatives to legal marriage, including common law, domestic partnership, and cohabitation agreements. Each option offers some, but not all, of the benefits of traditional marriage and has advantages and disadvantages. The benefits vary state by state. So it's important to consult a matrimonial attorney before deciding on an option. Domestic partnership. A domestic partnership, also called a civil union, is a popular option of couple because it offers many of the same benefits to marriage. A domestic partnership, like a marriage, is a legal relationship under the laws of a state. It provides committed unmarried couples that are living together part-time, but limit granted rights before same-sex marriage was legalized. Gay couple relies on domestic partnerships to protect them financially and legally. Next. Common law marriage. A common law marriage is a legally recognized marriage between two people who have not purchased a marriage license or had their marriage solemnized by a ceremony. Not all states have a status addressing common law marriage. In some states, caste law and public policy determine validity. Cohabitation agreements. In a domestic partnership, the states decides what benefits you get as a couple. A cohabitation agreement is different. In this arrangement, the couple decides what rights and obligations each partner owes to each other. Cohabitation agreements, unlike domestic partnership and civil unions, or context negotiations between a couple and can be as narrow or as broad as the couple wishes them to be. A cohabitation agreement is a contract and shall be negotiated and invocable is all states jurisdiction.
British wedding tradition, alternative to marriage. Civil partnership. A civil partnership is an alternative to marriage for same-sex couple. Civil partnerships were introduced in the UK to allow same-sex couples to obtain the same right and responsibility as with civil marriage, or as they were legally unable to marry. In UK law, only same-sex couples are eligible for a civil partnership. A heterosexual couple who live together and wants to formalize their relationship without getting married can do so through a civil partnership. Religious marriage. A religious wedding ceremony, there is usually an expectation that the couple will get married in a house worship and that both spouses are official member of the congregation, or although it's increasingly common to see dual religious ceremony if each person in the couple follow a different religion. Religious ceremony have a lot of tradition in them, and it's unlikely that the couple will get much say over the order of the ceremony, what the vow will be, and in some cases even what the song or reading will be performed. All that being said, Religious ceremony can be deeply meaningful and full of symbolism, which can be very special for this couple with faith is important for them. Next is civil marriage. A civil ceremony is one under which there is no religious or spiritual element. However, there is a common misconception that the civil ceremony is a common law marriage or civil union, which is not the case. A civil ceremony is a legal wedding ceremony, just minus any of the traditional religious aspects such as prayer, scripture reading, or a religious officiant.
Indonesian wedding tradition. Alternative to marriage. Legal marriage. The process through religion courts and state courts so that they are registered in the states for unregistered marriage. Only through the select and carry out the couple consent along with witness. American wedding tradition, wedding dress. What do you wear to an American white wedding dress? Long before they meet the love of their life, many girls dream of the wedding dress, and it's usually white. The white wedding dress or gown, after all, it's still one of the most protection American tradition. It's source among almost very American bride during the wedding ceremony on the hour and or the reception. White wedding dress. The tradition actually comes from across the pond in England. Queen Victoria has had a very public wedding in the mid 1880, where she wore a white dress made of British silk and lace. The gown captured the public's imagination, and brides very since then have also been wearing white. In modern times, women have put their own spin on their essence based by wearing of white or adding a color accents of accessory. What do you wear to an American wedding? The dress code varies, but is usually specific on the invitation. If the ceremony is religious, make sure to dress modestly at least for the ceremony. Will the American bride be wearing all white? It is traditional for American British to wear white, but many modern British choose to add colorful accessories of white instead. A few Brits option for a different color entirely.
British wedding tradition, wedding dress. The white dress has been a part of fashion for hundreds of years and our favorite for many brides. The ancient Romans wore white to symbolize purity, and the custom has stuck around ever since. In fact, white wedding dresses are still the standard for a bride. Even if it's planning for an informal beach wedding ceremony or something more extravagant, mostly because white is simply beautiful. White is also one of the few colors that will go with anything and will never clash with the decor of the wedding venue or the clothes of the wedding guests or what the chief bridesmaid decide for the maid of honor to wear. The trend of wearing white wedding dress in the UK was started by Queen Victoria when she married Prince Albert on 10th February 1840 in an ivory white gown, and her bridesmaids and ladies in waiting were also dressed in white. Nevertheless, the tradition has stuck around and is still quite common to the bride wear a white dress today. Nowadays, brides go for a white as one of the most elegant and classical choices. As a white dress will never go out fashion, changing great natural beauty. Indonesian wedding tradition, appropriate dress. Appropriate dress for a woman, nice dresses, much as well wear to wedding at home. For men, a business suit or a long-sleeved batik shirt with slacks. It will be appropriate to wear a long-sleeved dress to a Muslim wedding reception. It is not necessary for an experienced woman to cover her head. so many of the Indonesian attendees may do so. Most in Indonesia are using traditional clothes.
American wedding tradition. The wedding party. Do you bring a gift to an American wedding? Wedding party. Regardless of the culture of whites, many couples have bridesmaids and groomsmaids at their wedding. It's very majority of wedding ceremonies have a bridal party. They can be seen during the professional standing on the side of the couple during the ceremony and at a receptions. They are also instrumental in planning wedding-related events such as bachelor and bachelorette parties. Couple gets to choose who they want to be part of their wedding party. If they want their first cousin of their best friend to stand beside them while they say their that's their choice. But that's not how it's always been. The concept of a bridesmaid originates out of 10 total witness required by law in the time of ancient Romans.
British wedding tradition, hen and stag parties. The term hen party was first used by British press in 1881, hosted by Queen Victoria for her daughter Princess Alice and other young women of noble birth, while in the term stag party was first used in 2030s to describe an evening of entertainment and drinking typically held by men. These traditions have been such some change over time. Bachelor and bachelorette party become more popular in the recent years where guests get together 2 weeks prior to the wedding. Initially, the stag party was a night of male bonding and debauchery surrounded by male friends. But in recent years, there have been more about a man getting together before their friend or sibling wedding to celebrate the future groom in their last day as a bachelor.
American wedding tradition. Wedding professional. How long does an American wedding last? Most American weddings include a wedding professional where the wedding party walks down the aisles at the beginning of the wedding ceremony. The order is generally in the same. The officiant walks first, followed by the wedding party and the followers, girls, and drawing bears. The couple and their parents are last. In more international ceremonies, the bride's father walks her down the aisle while in the modern ceremonies, but parents do the honors. This was another traditional starts in England during a royal wedding. This time Queen Victoria, oldest child.
British wedding tradition, wedding processional. Old, new, borrowed, and blue. This popular wedding tradition started in 1800, and the ritual is still practiced today, and it's a way to symbolize new beginning with all these gifts received from friends and family. The day before their wedding, couples keep this tradition alive by giving each other token from the friend and family that represent something old, new, borrowed, and blue. Here are all the most popular examples practiced at British wedding. Something old. The bride's father gave her a wedding ring that belonged to his mother. Something new. The bride's mother gave her daughter a new pair of earrings. Something borrowed. A friend or close family member lent the couple something that they can use on their honeymoon. Something blue. The groom mother gave the bride a piece of heirloom lace called iris linen, which is dyed with natural indigo dye, which is used to make the bride's veil or wedding decoration. Indonesian wedding tradition, wedding reception. At most wedding reception, the guests arrive, sign the guest book, accept their thank you token, deposit their gift, and enter the reception hall. If you arrive on time, you will be able to witness the procession of the wedding couple into the reception hall. Depending on the wealth, social standing, or ethnic group. This procession can be quite impressive. The bride and groom may be processed by dancers who give a traditional dance performance before the wedding couple goes on stage. Or the performers may come after the bride and groom are seated. The parent and bride and groom and other senior family will be followed the couple in the processional in the room.
Difference. The primary difference between wedding reception of the different ethnic group will be in the style of wedding dress, stage decoration, food reserved, and the dance performed. Besides, besides that, most weddings follow somewhat predictable patterns as described above. More difference will be events in the traditional wedding ceremonies than in the reception.
The differences. In the UK, British bridesmaids sit during the ceremony, while most American bridesmaids stand beside the bride through the service. The United Kingdom has usher to groomsmen, and they do not walk in the bridesmaid. In the US, sometimes they do and sometimes they walk in a tree. In the UK, the groom traditional faces away from the bride until she gets to the altar. Fourth, it is very uncommon for British couples to write their own vows, since the majority of the population wed in the Church of England, which follow a strict script. 5. While in the United States, in the front it happened for the best man to tell embarrassing stories. He's actually supposed to roast the groom in the Great Britain. The maid of honor or chief bridesmaid in the UK does not give a toast like in the US. Only men give speech in British wedding. A British groom is liable to give a full speech instead of the brief toast thanking the guests like in the States. 6. There is generally not grand entrance to the reception in the UK, especially for the bridal party. 7. Americans can have party much whatever flavor they want for cake, while traditional English weddings have fruit cake. 8. While both countries engage in the bouquet toast, only the United States has a garter toast as well. 9. Having an open bar is very uncommon in the UK, while a closed bar in the States can be considered gauze.
Difference. One, couple living in the Great Britain do not have a many period activities as the Jews in United States, while they do have bicolor and bachelor parties, cocktails night and hand toss respectively. They do not hold bridal showers or rehearse dinners. Two, British brides will appoint their bridesmaids dress, while American bridesmaids usually purchase their own. Three, typical American guests are invited to all parties of the wedding ceremony, cocktail hours, and receptions, while British weddings have an allies and billets. Acquaintance or unknown that for the billets are only invited to the evening of portion of the celebration. For female guests at wedding is in the United Kingdom will don elaborate hats or fashioners, which is uncommon actually in the United States. 5. British wedding traditional prof the bridal parties are usually smaller than those in the United States, and instead of a maid honor, a bridge selects a chief bridesmaid. The bridal party process the bride in the US but follow the bride.
Next is a differences about you see as seen on the screen the differences in the order of holding tradition wedding in American, British, and Indonesian. So like alternative, that is before the wedding dress, giving away the bread, old, new, borrowed, is traditional from British, and throwing rice, cutting the wedding cake, and the wedding sauce, the first dance, and carrying over the thresholds. In Indonesia, in the wedding tradition has more come from this own region. And finally, now we have reached the end of this presentation. Thank you for the attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.